Hello, everyone, and welcome to Locked On Flames. An anxiety-provoking third period comeback means that the Flames are now just one game away from clinching this first-round series.
You're Locked On Flames, your daily podcast on the Calgary Flames. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back, or welcome to Locked On Flames. As always, I am your host, Jess Belmosto. How are you today? Thank you so much for tuning into another episode, or your first episode of Locked On Flames. And thanks for making us your first listen of the day. You can find us anywhere you get your favorite podcasts, including Spotify, Stitcher, Apple, Odyssey, Audible, and YouTube. We're free 99 wherever you like. And of course, follow me on Twitter. It's on the screen right now at Jess Belmosto. What a game last night was. Daryl Sutter kind of he's stuck with what worked, and I'm impressed. He rolled out the game 4 lineups, dressed 7 defensemen, and the mind games, I kind of mentioned this yesterday. I said, I wonder if he is just putting like these lines together during morning skate so it looks one way, and so kind of like little mind games like, oh, we don't know who's starting this or we don't know who's doing that, and it throws a wrench in the opponent's day in their plan of attack because, well, you don't know what lines you're going to get when you go out there, and you certainly can't predict what lines he's going to put together. Like, you don't know. And of course, Michael Stone was back in the lineup, and he actually led the team in shots on goal with 4, and he had just over 10 minutes of ice time. So, I think Stone magic is working. I would keep him in. And Tyler Toffoli, my God, I just wanted to shake him and be like, it's okay. He was unbelievably close to scoring on a number of occasions. And, one missed sneaking by Oettinger by a hair. And it was so frustrating to watch because he skated back to the bench and he looked up at the jumbotron, the screen, and was like, he couldn't do anything besides shake his head. I felt awful for him, but I really think that this was kind of the awakening of secondary scoring. And this was also the second game in a row now where Johnny gets yanked due to a possible concussion. The first one happened when he got hit in the head in game 4. And then last night he gets a puck right by the ear. So, and there's no protection from the helmet there. So that's scary stuff, but he came back. Obviously, you hope things are going well. It's actually really scary when you hit your head multiple times in a span of a few days because, number one, the headaches are never fun, and number two, concussions are scary. They can change your whole brain function. I don't know if any of you have had concussions, but I'm a terribly clumsy person and have gotten all 3 of my concussions while doing very basic tasks, and nothing nothing like these hockey players, but obviously he sounds like he's okay, so they'll keep rolling that first line out. So fingers crossed there that doesn't happen again. And then Robo gets his first goal of the playoff series, as well as putting the Stars on the board. And I thought it was going to be like a 0-0, we're going to overtime sort of deal here. But then it also looked like the Flames were going to go down 1-0. And I was actually going to tweet, oh, Noah Hannafin has had a really rough series, and then of course this puck is deflected off of Noah Hannafin's butt, and he ends up potting the goal. Kid just cannot find a break this series when it comes to defending, and him and Chris Tanev had really rough games last night, and I don't know what it was. Maybe it's the travel, maybe it's the lack of sleep, I don't know, but something was in the air for sure last night between those two, and it needs to just never be seen again. Mikael Backlund, of course, that we're going to talk about the secondary scoring here. Backlund, who has quietly been one of the best players this series, ends up potting the goal. And this is the third period comeback. So, it's tied now at one apiece. And then Mangiapane comes up big as well. And I almost jumped through the roof with excitement because I was not having fun watching the Stars win or while they were winning. And then I was like, oh my God, like I'm exhausted. I don't want this to go to overtime. Please just end at a reasonable hour. And then Mangiapane saved us from that fear. And then Trevor Lewis, of course, had that goal, the empty net goal, to just kind of put a little bow on it. And it was an exciting comeback. I think that was just a really we need to never do that again and only wait till the last like 20-ish minutes to start scoring. But you got to do what you got to do to win, and the Flames did that, and it doesn't always have to be pretty. That is for sure. Coming up next, I have your Flame of the Game. But before we do that, I want to take a second to talk about Athletic Greens. Our next partner has a product that I use every day, and I start my day with AG1 because I don't really have time to remember to take a cabinet full of vitamins, and they are a great, it's just an all-in-one, all-inclusive probiotic powder that's great for gut health and more energy. And AG1, with AG1, you're absorbing 75 high quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, adaptogens, and more to help you start your day. I take it every morning. I mix it in with my water in the morning because I quite like to just really start my day off right. And of course, I want to be the best version of myself. And incorporating AG1 is a small micro habit with big benefits. And it's one thing that you can do for yourself every day. And taking care of yourself is very important. And Athletic Greens has over 7,000 five-star reviews, and they are recommended by professional athletes as well as leading health experts. To make to make it easy, right now is the time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com slash NHL network. Again, that is athleticgreens.com slash NHL network to take ownership over your health. Thank you so much for tuning in to Locked On Flames. As always, I'm your host, Jess Belmosto, and you can follow me on Twitter at Jess Belmosto. Flame of the game was truly an easy one to pick, and that was Mikael Backlund. Mikael Backlund has been such a significant player this series, and you'll always find him on the score sheet in one way or another, but it's not just about the score sheet. It's also about the defensive contributions that he's making on ice. He has a really strong forecheck. He will force turnovers. He will force, those giveaways. And he is very meticulous when it comes to his playmaking. I think that he offers that third line, or that middle six option, a lot of versatility. He provides that, and he might not always have the speed to him that you might look for in, your second line center, but he has the ability to perform at that level that you need him to in order to, elevate your second line. And with him being able to score that comeback goal last night, I think was huge. The equalizer in late in the game was important for the Flames because you don't want to have to go to 7 games. And then, of course, it's one less game of rough physicality and one less chance for you to get eliminated. So we knew that the Mangiapane, Backlund, and Coleman line were special. We knew that they were special during the regular season, and they proved that to us. And it really blows my mind that that wasn't deployed from game one. But there's always a reason for what Daryl Sutter does, and I think that reuniting them has been very beneficial, and we just kind of have to take that W and put it in our pocket. Uh, it Putting them back together, we all knew it would spark something. So it did, and he got the momentum going and was able to trigger the comeback. And there's really not much else you can look for in a player. I think he was, again, one of the better players out on the ice last night. And even before he scored that goal, he was on my radar for this position because of his dynamic defensive abilities and how powerful and how important his presence is out there on the ice. I thought that he played a really strong game, and not just because he scored a goal. I do think that Mangiapane also had a little bit of a tough game, but then kind of evened out. I would probably give him, the second star or third star, if you will, mainly because he found himself at the top of Hawk and Paw's like shit list. Sorry for swearing, but I don't know what it was. Just every time Mangiapane was just in the corner and ended up being smashed against the boards or was being taken down physically, and with this level of physicality that just seemed so over the top for like a routine puck possession. I understand that you play with a different level of physicality in playoff hockey, but it felt over the top aggressive, and that was kind of like the consensus on Twitter as well, because people were confused as to what Mangiapane did to earn that spot. I don't know. And then, of course, he came back out, and I believe it was the second period. He started looking better. He started looking um a little more polished, if you will. And then he obviously had that go ahead game winning goal. And it's important for him to get on the score sheet. He is one of the team's top goal scorers. And I think that he came out and was finally like, I don't need to feed into this behavior from from the Stars. And he was able to complete his job. One of my favorite things about him is how he really doesn't care about those extracurriculars. Like, yeah, he gets like mixed up in them, but it's never truly him instigating them. So I think between him and Mangiapane and Backlund, they do a great job. And even, Blake Coleman as well. I just that whole line is so special, and the Flames are really lucky to have a line that has um forward and defense, like offensive and defensive qualities of the strength. So I give them a lot of credit. I would like to see, obviously the other lines start contributing as well. But if we can figure out a way for that line to step up and be a regular contributor to the games. I think that the Flames offseason will look a lot deeper than it did after, falling 2-1 to the Stars early in the series rather. But coming up next, we are going to do our winners and losers of the week today, because obviously tomorrow is game 6, and I want to preview that as well as maybe get a guest on, do a little mailbag. We'll figure it out, but I wanted to do it early and end it on a positive note. And that way we're not freaking out and worrying, and we're laid back for game 6. Am I right? But first, we are going to take a minute to talk about BetOnline. Number one, gamble responsibly if you are participating in sports betting. BetOnline has all you need when you are placing your sports bets. BetOnline is your continued source for all of your sporting wagering information, from live betting to playoffs, esports, and more. Find all the latest odds, news, and sports developments, including this year's basketball playoffs, Major League Baseball scores, fights, and even next season's NFL futures. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and action. BetOnline, where the game starts. Thank you all again for tuning in to this show, whether you are a new Flames fan, you're jumping on the bandwagon, or you were just looking for a Flames podcast. But I appreciate you. I think you're amazing, and I'm very grateful for you. This show's become my baby, and for the last 2 seasons to have gone the way that they've gone, this year has been very fun covering them, and I'm so grateful to have a larger audience along for the ride, because that means you're all having fun as well. But you're part of my winners of the week as well. But Brady Tkachuk gets that title for the week because he's the biggest Matthew Tkachuk fan out there. He had a shirt that I think it was like the Matthew Tkachuk Fight Club on when they were in Dallas with his family. His girlfriend, by the way, is absolutely stunning. I don't have words. Like he's adorable, but she's like a supermodel level. Whatever. It's hockey. That's how it always goes, right? But I thought that the whole Tkachuk family being there was really sweet. I know that Taryn was there as well, and her semester must be done at UVA. But that whole family was they were just like sitting in like the crowd too. Like they don't get a suite or anything. They just hanging out in the crowd. But I think that Brady Tkachuk is just so fun, and he was singing along and cheering when I believe it was Backlund scored. I believe it was Backlund. He was so excited. He was saying like, "Go Flames, go!" And then of course that discourse on Twitter started, and it's like, I don't know if I've ever seen an active NHL player root for another team, or like actively root for a team. And it's just like, Brady isn't seeing the playoffs for quite some time. So if he wants to spend it like cheering for his brother instead of like on the golf course, that's fine. I don't understand what the issue is, like why there's discourse around it. I don't think that like he's tanking his own like Sens season to do anything to benefit the Flames. Like there's like not cross contamination, but conflict of interest. There we go. Like there's none of that. I don't know. I love the Tkachuk family. I think Matthew and Brady are just so funny and so fun to watch. But my loser of the week. My loser of the week is everyone who didn't vote for Johnny Gaudreau to be a Hart finalist. I don't care what you say. Connor McDavid is not the most valuable player to his team. That's what it is. This is not a league MVP sort of thing. This is for your team. Connor McDavid, there is literally Leon Draisaitl right there. Okay? Johnny Gaudreau had over 100 points this season. To me, that is the most beneficial player to anyone's team. And that's my opinion. And that's probably why I will never be deemed a voter for anything. But I don't know. I just think having Connor McDavid as a finalist yet again is laughable because, like, even Austin Matthews has like John Tavares and Mitch Marner and apparently Michael Bunting, who is like this fantastic rookie. I don't think that I think that you have to pull from teams who have a disparity in between, and I don't think it's necessarily like the best players in the league. Like Jonathan Huberdeau should absolutely be nominated over one of those guys, and so should Johnny Gaudreau. But again, I don't know. Maybe it's because I am a big Johnny Gaudreau fan that's why I'm so passionate about it. But I just think that the writers messed it up there. So thank you all for tuning in to today's episode of Locked On Flames. As always, I'm Jess Belmosto. Thank you so much for tuning in and making Locked On Flames your first listen of the day. I will have a pregame episode up for you tomorrow. Flames are back in Dallas, Game 6. They look to clinch the series, and let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. And I will see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.